What is going on, Jets fan? Today we're going to analyze the tape of the New York Jets defensive line against the Houston Texans offensive line because the New York Jets absolutely crushed it. And I want to talk about it. I want to get into what we saw from some of these different players, and we're going to start right away with Haason Reddick, who had a pretty good game yesterday. He got after the quarterback a couple of times. Quinnen Williams was another guy that got after the quarterback a little bit. We'll talk about him here in a second. But with Haason Reddick, you can definitely see this guy's coming back to form, right? This guy's definitely getting his pass rush back to where it kind of was. Obviously, he's only played a couple games at this point, so he still has a way to go until he's 100% ready for the season. He didn't really have an offseason. He didn't play at all in the preseason. So this guy is going to take a couple of weeks to get back to form. But you saw some pass rush upside with Reddick. Here's a pretty nice move where he's going to end up chopping down the right tackle's right arm. And with that, as he chops it down, he's going to also pin with the left hand. You can't really see the pin with the left hand because the camera angle. But because of that pin and chop, because of that chop and pin combination, he's ultimately able to beat the tackle, and the quarterback has nowhere to go. And we saw Reddick catch fire late in the game yesterday, right? The pass rush really flashed late in the game. And he had a bunch of plays that, in my opinion, impacted this game. Here's another one. You got a 2nd and 10. And you're going to once again see this guy just straight up generate pressure. Now you're going to run a defensive line game over here to the left. And with that, Reddick's going to end up ultimately going free on this one. But it's just a really good job being able to change direction. You start upfield, you put the left foot into the ground. The defensive lineman does a great job here as well, number 54, getting out of the way. He's going to end up going upfield. He's going to take on 2 guys. And Reddick just comes right underneath that, and you can see the right guard's not going to be able to recover. And this is a good right guard as well, right? This is an all-pro caliber right guard. And Reddick just does a really good job, right? It's very quick. It's very effective. He's going to put the left foot into the ground, change direction, come back to the inside. And it's just a really good executed defensive line game. And with that, C.J. Stroud's not going to be able to play within structure, right? He has a 3-step drop. He's trying to get the ball out over here to the left, but the pressure forces him off the spot, and he has to run away from this, right? These are the little things that Reddick was doing with his time with the Philadelphia Eagles, and these are the things that I feel like he's going to continue to bring to the New York Jets. Again, it's going to take some time, and I know he hasn't really played for the Jets up to this point, but as a pure pass rusher, Reddick is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And there's so many great snaps on tape. Here's another one. On this one here, he's going to go to the bull rush move. The pocket is going to end up collapsing. And on this one here, he's going to get close. Now, he doesn't actually get the sack. But keep in mind, being able to generate pressure by collapsing the pocket is a part of being able to be a defensive lineman. When you have Reddick and McDonald and Quinnen Williams on the inside, and you got other guys that can potentially collapse the pocket, Javon Kinlaw maybe, right? When you have a bunch of different guys that can collapse the pocket from different sides, Reddick being able to collapse it from his side does end up allowing other guys to also kind of get home, right? It allows other guys to generate pressure. And then for a quarterback, you don't have a clean pocket because C.J. Stroud wants to step up. As soon as C.J. Stroud takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, he wants to climb the pocket and drive the football, right? That's kind of what a quarterback's ultimately taught. And on this one here, there's no pocket to step up in. So you either get the ball out of there or you try to running away from this. And the Jets did a great job containing C.J. Stroud within the pocket as much as they could. They didn't let this guy create any extra plays. And I feel like Haason Reddick, generally speaking, had a pretty good game yesterday. He's definitely coming back to form. And I just wanted to start talking a little bit about him first. There are plays like this as well where he's not going to get credit for actually making the play. So statistically, it might not look great, but he does a good job on some of these plays, right? He's going to avoid the block. You have a left guard here pulling towards Reddick. Reddick's going to make the guard end up missing. And because of the fact that Reddick ends up to the inside of this guard here, the running back has to cut this towards the right. So although the play does pick up about 8 yards, there were a lot of plays where Reddick won, but just he wasn't able to finish, right? And I think as the season continues to go on, as he takes more snaps, we'll get to the point where this guy is ultimately able to finish. But a guy that did not struggle to finish was arguably the best defensive tackle in the NFL. And that's going to be Quinnen Williams. And I want to take a second to look at all the different plays this guy made, because I don't think people recognize how great Quinnen Williams is. And I know Jets fans definitely recognize it. But I almost feel like Williams is a little underrated around the NFL. Fans are always giving credit to Chris Jones. Some fans, will credit Jalen Carter. Some people credit some of the other defensive tackles. But I feel like Quinnen Williams doesn't get enough credit for the type of player he is. So you see him blow this play up for a loss of 1 yard. But this guy was very consistent against the run, right? He did a really good job being able to fill his run fits. He took on the double teams. He got off blocks. He chased plays down. The guy just did a really good job yesterday for the New York Jets. Now, the Jets did get gashed, I think, on probably like 4 or 5 big runs. But generally speaking, I felt like the Jets did a pretty good job against the run. And obviously, Quinnen Williams made a couple of plays. But really, Quinnen Williams' best value obviously comes from his pass rush technique. Right? I think Quinnen Williams is that type of player that is an absolute difference maker. So you're going to end up getting a fumble on this one. And Quinnen Williams does a great job being able to beat the left guard on this one. He's going to end up being able to just straight up punch this guy. He's going to utilize a straight up power move, right? You see him almost get the arm right into this guy, throw him to the side. And just like that, he ends up being able to beat this guy. And he's going to generate pressure on CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud's going to end up losing the football. Now, I don't know if the sack actually ends up going to Quinnen Williams on this one. But to me, he's the guy that forces this, right? He's the guy that forces essentially the fumble. Just a really, really good job, if you guys ask me, by Quinnen Williams to be able to generate that pressure and really collapse the pocket. Right, we talked about it just a second ago with Haason Reddick. Collapsing the pocket outside, inside, it's a real part of being able to have success as a defensive line. And this is why I thought the Jets would have the best defensive line in the NFL this season. Because of guys like Quinnen Williams, I expect Will McDonald to take a step in his second year, and he definitely does look better. You got guys like Clemens, you got guys like Johnson, who obviously has been lost for the season. But you also got a guy in Haason Reddick here as well, right, who also has a ton of upside. But this move right here, just a phenomenal move once again by Quinnen Williams. You're going to get a 4-yard sack on 2nd and 11. This basically ended this drive here. Right, you see the bull rush. You see him just straight up bully the left guard here. Just goes right through him and just gets the tackle on the quarterback. I don't think people recognize how great of a leverage this guy plays with. Right, you see him land the hands right underneath this offensive lineman. The offensive lineman's pretty low as well, but Quinnen Williams is going to bench press him upwards. And it's because of the hand placement. Beautiful hand placement. Pushes this guard back, and then he ends up just being able to take this guy right back into the quarterback. And then he brings CJ Stroud down for a sack. There were a lot of plays that Quinnen Williams got close, and where he ultimately impacted the play. Here's another one. You got a 3rd and 5. And he's going to essentially just chop and rip. So it's going to essentially just be a power move once again. And this one's going to be effective as well. And CJ Stroud's not going to have a clean pocket once again. This one should have probably been completed, 3rd and 5. You can see Stroud ends up throwing it to the wide receiver that was wide open. But the pass is just a little high. And I think a part of that is because of the fact that this guard ends up being bull rushed here by Quinnen Williams. Williams does a great job here. Swipe, rip. Hits the corner, able to bend and get to the quarterback. So again, just a really, really good job on this one. 3rd and 5, you get off the field on this one. You have another one here where Quinnen Williams is going to once again get close to potentially getting the quarterback down for a sack. To me, just a really, really good job once again, right? Now, this one does get completed for 32 yards. But the thing with this play is the quarterback has to get off his spot, right? So because Quinnen Williams ends up beating the left guard, CJ Stroud feels that and he has to get out of there. Because of that, right? And you can almost make the argument this is a hold right there. I know he does kind of let go. Holds him long enough. I think Quinnen Williams, with the left arm, you're going to see him kind of leverage it. And this is one of the things that Quinnen Williams does really well. As soon as he's able to get his hands into guys, or as soon as he hits the corner, he knows how to place those hands. So the left arm is going to come underneath. He's going to rip. And now this guy has to let go. Otherwise, you're going to get called for a hold. And the quarterback gets off the spot because of that pressure. So again, that's a really, really good job being able to generate pressure. You're going to get another one here by Quinnen Williams. He's going to hezzy. And then with that, he's going to punch with the left hand. He's going to end up hitting the quarterback. You're going to get another incomplete pass. Now, one of the things we got to recognize with these plays is, sometimes the quarterback isn't trying to throw the ball in the moment he throws the ball. Right? But he throws it because he senses pressure. He senses that his offensive lineman ultimately lost. On this one here, Williams does a phenomenal job setting this up. He's going to hezzy left, hezzy right. You don't know, is he going to go outside? Is he going to go inside? And then he's going to swipe with the left hand. And right away, as soon as he swipes, he's going to bring the right arm over the top. And just like that, that's how quickly he was able to win. Just a really good pass rush move once again by Quinnen Williams. Williams has a real pass rush plan. I think not every single defensive lineman has that. Quinnen Williams, one of the top 2 or 3 defensive tackles in the NFL. And some people think he's actually the best. And I'm not, I wouldn't be opposed to that, right? I think this guy could definitely be considered one of the best. There's just a lot of high quality wins by Quinnen Williams. And we'll look at this final sack here, which is going to end up getting split between Williams as well as Haason Reddick. This is the play we looked at earlier. Williams does a great job here with the defensive line game. He's definitely one of the 2 guys that definitely gets in there. You can see him as well as Javon Kinlaw are going to end up running that game right there, and Williams ends up getting home, right? So that's just a really, really good job. Being able to beat the center right guard on the exchange, it's just a really good job by Williams. He's going to end up getting to the inside, and then he's going to just power his way through. Again, beautiful job. This is not the type of pocket you want if you're a quarterback like CJ Stroud. Now, early in the season, we did a film breakdown of Will McDonald. I think it was after week 2 or 3. The guy had looked good, right? And we haven't checked in on him since that point, but the guy's still just continuously making plays. He's getting better and better and better. And I think as we continue to go forward, he's going to just keep having more success, right? There's so much potential with Will McDonald. You know, when he came to the Senior Bowl, and I always tell this story because I think some people don't focus too much on the NFL draft. When Will McDonald came to the Senior Bowl, the day before he showed up, people were like, hey, maybe this guy's a first-round pick. A lot of people had him as a second, maybe even third-round pick. But I had talked to multiple scouts, and they had told me Will McDonald's the guy that can make a lot of money at the Senior Bowl. If you guys don't know this, I work as a scout for the Hula Bowl, so I'm in the draft community a lot, right? Like, I know a lot about the NFL draft, I hear a lot of different things. And not only did this guy go to the Senior Bowl and beat the shit out of guys like Darnell Wright, who ended up being the 9th overall pick. He beat up on guys like DeJuan Jones, who some people are like, hey, he's the best tackle in this class. He had a phenomenal Senior Bowl. He made a lot of money because of it, but it was what he's essentially doing on tape right here that really stood out to scouts, right? It was the movement this guy has. Think about this play here. He recognizes the tight end's going to block down, so this is either some sort of zone run or he's going to get trapped essentially. And on this one, the guard is coming to trap him. You see the left guard ends up pulling, and look at him avoid the block. He's going to dip the shoulder, left arm's going to drop, and he's going to get in there and blow the play up. It's the little things that this guy does with his movement that I think is going to allow him to be a really, really good football player. Now, of course, he's still learning the position, right? Like, he's not a perfect player today, and he has to continue to develop. He has to continue to get better. But there's so much upside with this guy, right? Like, how many people can spin the way McDonald just spins against a pretty good left tackle here? How many people can actually do that right there where it's an effective pass rush move? Now, I know the quarterback rolls out of there to the right, but that's not the only time this guy got pressure to the quarterback. There's 2 or 3 more plays I want to show you guys. We're going to just go through them really quickly. Where this guy generates pressure, right? He chases a play from the backside. He shows that effort. He gets to the quarterback. And you don't see him on most of this play, but you see that he's going to end up chasing this from the backside. He's going to end up hitting the quarterback on this, right? So again, the effort. The pass rush upside, right? Being able to utilize the hands and the pass rush moves and the movement is a big part of this guy potentially having a lot of success in the NFL. Here's another one where he's going to straight up just move, right? Like he's going to fake to the inside and then he's going to just jump back outside. And he's so fast with this movement. He's long, he's lengthy, that this is hard for this tackle to stay with him. Right, and then he's able to also kind of bend the corner. Now the quarterback steps up. Right, this is one of the things with CJ Stroud that makes him a really good quarterback. Is he senses pressure, he's able to step up. But again, McDonald, a really, really good pass rusher, and I shouldn't say he's a really, really good pass rusher. He has a lot of pass rush tools, and there's a lot of upside with his pass rush. He just has to be able to come together and really put it together for it to actually work, right? Because he has a ton of upside, and I think this guy's going to become a really good football player. But he needs the snaps, he needs the reps. I think year 3, year 4, you're going to really start to see this guy absolutely start to dominate the NFL. And I want to go ahead and show you guys a couple more snaps with some of the other guys as well. Javon Kinlaw, who a lot of people wrote off as a bust, has came to the Jets, and he's had a pretty good season, right? You're seeing some of the upside that he had showed at South Carolina that ultimately allowed him to be, I believe he was the 14th overall pick. You see the little hezzy move here, right? Look at this. Hezzy's to the inside. He fakes to the inside. And then you can see him essentially bring the arm over the top. That's a winning rep right there. If this is Joe Flacco or if this is a quarterback that's not CJ Stroud that can avoid pressure and step up, he's potentially going down. And I love the fact that Robert Saleh, and I know he's not with the Jets anymore, but I love the fact that he saw the upside with Kinlaw and he brought him in because there is upside with Javon Kinlaw. He's not Quinnen Williams. They're 2 different players. But Kinlaw does have upside, right? He is on the slower side, but he's a lot bigger. I think he's probably a little bit stronger. He's not as twitchy, but he's a different type of defensive lineman, right? And I think for a team like the New York Jets, it's a team that I think could end up going on a run here shortly. You need guys like Kinlaw as well that can, defend the run, that could be a bully up front, right? Javon Kinlaw has that bully mindset, and you can see it. There's a lot of really, really good plays on tape where this guy's able to kind of get in there and just be disruptive, right? Be disruptive, penetrate, swim over the top and hezzy and do different things that could allow you to have a little bit of success, right? Here's another great example of that. He doesn't make the play, so if you don't watch tape, you will never recognize the importance of this play right here by Javon Kinlaw. If you don't watch tape, you don't realize that Javon Kinlaw resets the line of scrimmage, and he forces this running back to have to go back towards the right, which is exactly what you want to do on outside zone runs. Right? Kinlaw, if he gets reached here, this play works. But because of the fact that he fights the reach block, he ends up getting back over here to the B gap. And because of the fact that he gets back to the B gap, the running back has to go back towards the right. So again, great job by Kinlaw. And then you got backside chase here. You got another guy coming backside here. And you just blow the play up on this one. And I know the per average for Joe Mixon was pretty good yesterday, but you know, a lot of that was based off of a couple of big plays. I feel like generally speaking, the Jets did a pretty good job against the run. And I feel like if the Jets go on a run over the next couple of weeks, which I think is possible, right? It's a team that's kind of coming together right now. I think they're 3-6. You know, 9 games will probably get you into the playoffs. Look out for this team, man. I really do think the New York Jets are a very, very solid football team. And we'll see what ends up happening. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We are covering the New York Jets, and my goal is to do a weekly film breakdown of the Jets. So if there's a player you guys want to see, make sure to drop that name down in the comments below. Thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you guys next time with another video.